All right. Looks like we're live. Still getting the system under control over here. So that's got some little volume here. Let me get this thing set up so I can check out the folks in the chat, say what's up. Run a little bit late. I apologize for that. There was a few difficulties this evening. Turn that down. And maybe, just maybe, there might be somebody in the chat for me to say hello to. Oh, look at that. Bunch of apps open on the phone. Close all that out. Okay, let's try this again. Looks like we got 5 people in here. Okay, good. Not too many people waiting. What's up, Rambo Jambo? Tammy Tony, what's going on? Nick Jackson, what's happening? Manny Pinocchio, Gartrell McKinney, what's up, dude? True Sense FE, Michael O'Rourke, Conan68, what's happening? Andre Browning, playing can opener, I like it. What's up? Jay Tassie, what's happening? Loco Tomo, what's good? Seth Bop, what's up, dude? Chevin Fitcher, Flat Earth Trav, hey man, how's it going? Hey Kimmy, Kim the Goddess, what's going on? JC Rods, what's going on, dude? All right, Gov Grinder, Flat Earth Vegans in the house, what's going on? I thought you all had a wrench. I'm gonna have to take care of that real soon. Alrighty, so I sent Vegan the link. Let me try this again. MJ Gibbons in the house, what's going on? The Dark Cloud NC, what's up? What's up? Yeah, the wires name's Blue. Everything's love. What's going on? All right, let me go to the watch page actually. I'll get some moderators set up while I'm waiting. Trying to get this thing started real quick. Set up a couple of moderators over here. Hold on. People tell me I need to settle down with all the moderators, but I'll take a page out of IPS book. You know, the way that he used to run his streams. I haven't been on one of them in a while. Was basically the idea that an armed society is a polite society, and I can agree with that. Let me get you one, Kim. All right, Kim the Goddess is now moderator. Check it out. I think you're good. Conan's all right with me. Hannah, you're cool. Check these trolls when they come around. All right, so more the merrier. All right. Yeah. Okay. Let me close that out. And let me get back over here. One more thing. Let me see. One more thing. Couple of minutes. One more thing I got to take care of on this whole thing. I'm gonna email Vegan the link. I usually just send the just send the invite through Hangouts, and then I'll like email it to him also. We hadn't chatted today. We were on yesterday. You know, some of you might have saw that one. Hope you had a good time hanging out last night while we were discussing the dome and the ice wall, or the potential of those things. You know, our different ideas on those topics. So, all right, that's link with 2 N's. There it is. Okay, so there is that. It has been a hectic day, kind of hectic afternoon. It's all good. Hope everybody's doing well. Let me see. Could have swore I saw another one of those articles about, an asteroid coming really, really close to hitting the Earth again. More of that fear propaganda campaign, it seems. So, all right. I'll address something. Okay, I'll probably take some, questions from the chat. I'll try to get in there and do that. Okay. Flat Earth Trav says, dude, do you think the makers of the Behind the Curve documentary made that to divide the FE community? I think they made it to be a hit piece. I think they made it to make flat earthers look like we're like social outcasts, like we're a little unstable. Um, that we're on the fringe of society. Um, I think they had had stuff like that in mind. That it certainly didn't seem like it was an even-handed approach to the topic. So to divide the community, I believe that is kind of a serendipitous thing. It's like one of those side benefits in addition to the things that they were trying to do. The community is going to end up arguing amongst ourselves based on what we perceive uh, coming out of that documentary. So yeah, I mean, I don't think they made it in order to divide the community, but that's part of it. That's part of it, I believe. So that's just kind of a byproduct of it. And then you know, I'm just like, let's just keep moving forward. It's ridiculous what they try to do, and I mean, it's going to backfire to a degree anyway. Because I mean, I've had a few people come to me personally saying that they're now looking into flat Earth just because that documentary came out. There's been a couple folks at my job like, "Hey, man, I saw you in this documentary." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Who, me? I wasn't in no documentary. What you talk about?" But then they're like, "Well," I was like, "So what'd you think?" They're like, "You know what? I didn't really think about the topic a whole lot before, but you know, um, it does make sense if you think about it." So I've had a couple people coming to me like, yeah, it might be flat. It might be. There was one guy in particular came to me. He was talking about how he had watched the documentary, he saw me in it, and he goes by the Bible. So he's like, well, the good book does say that the Earth is immovable. I'm like, that's one of those things. So um, there's that. And I've talked a little bit about the documentary, and I mean, a lot of people have talked about it so much to people are starting to get nauseous just talking about that thing. But it's just gonna it's gonna fizzle out, and we'll just continue doing what we do. I believe that we're gonna learn some lessons from this thing, in dealing with the media going forward. That after that documentary and seeing what these people tried to do, that we'll be more careful about being in front of cameras. Like Rob Skiba does. He will record the entire interview, like his interview with ABC Nightline. That little news segment was like 7 minutes or so, and Rob Skiba's part was only about 30 seconds in that news segment, and his interview was, they might have been talking to him for about an hour, and the whole interview is on his channel. So and he recorded the whole thing. He set up a camera with them, and he's like, hey, I'm going to record this whole thing just for posterity, and he's got the entire interview up there on his channel. So that makes sense. And I kind of wish I had done the same thing, because I mean, all you heard from my chat with the lady was when she said that there's going to be some pretty science oriented people who are going to say this is a pretty oaky project. I was like, yeah, they're going to say it's like really simple. I'm like, yeah, so simple it'll go right over your head. That's all you heard. That's like all you heard me say in that whole thing. But I was talking to that lady for like a half hour, and it's just we're going to learn a lesson to keep an eye on these folks when they want to put us in front of a camera. So lessons learned at this point. Let me see, got another one. Alonzo Lugo says, what do you think about Eric Dubay? Guys, all right with me. I'll give credit where credit's due. Eric Dubay, he was one of the people making a lot of noise in the beginning when there weren't a lot of people talking about flat Earth. Him, Matt Powerland, shout out to him. They were out there, and they were kicking up dust, and they were waking people up. Eric Dubay, he wrote the book, and put out the video. That's one of the most watched videos in the community. 200 proofs that the Earth is not a spinning ball, and I'm saying he's done good work. He's got into other topics. He's had huge impact. He's woke up a lot of people. He's got a lot of people who still support him to this day. And I got no problem to Eric Dubay. I mean, he does the thing where you know, this person's a shill, that person's a shill, and I was even in one of those videos, and it was one where it was a lot of people from the conference in the community on the side of a bus, and on the side of that bus, like under my picture or next to my picture, something like that, it was somebody put 666. I'm like, when? Okay, never mind. But I'm still not mad at that. And he said something about me in that, but if I understand correctly, it was just from a post on IFERS, his website, and that was written by this girl that was like in my DMs back in the day. And I feel like she just put that crap on his site as a moderator because she was mad at me because I didn't have time to chat with it no more. So it be like that sometimes. So anyway, I'm not mad at him. I don't know. It is what it is. Let me see now. What else is going on in here? Am I going to be at the next conference in Dallas? Asked by Flat Earth Vegans. I plan on it. I plan on it. I do. Um, then again, when is that's in November? Yeah, yeah. I think I'll be able to make the one in Dallas. Uh, haven't been given an invitation to speak at that one. Don't even know if I'll want to if I were invited to speak, but I'm always down to come hang out and you know be around my people. So yeah, I think I will show up if everything works out, unless something goes horribly wrong between now and then. Hopefully not. Let me see. Rambo says, "Am I going to cover the SpaceX Dragon landing?" I didn't have a whole lot of time to look into that, but yeah, I do have. Do I have that up? SpaceX Dragon. I could. I could. I mean, it'll be a situation where we're just kind of reading over that together. But let me see. Yeah, we can look over that. Let me see. I'm gonna have to close that out. Go back into Google. Let me see what else. Yeah, D easy. That stuff is flat. You got that right. Let me see. The Dark Cloud NC says it's kind of scary how hard they're trying to censor the flat Earth community. They hate open-minded people. Yes, I agree. And you know what? I've gotten multiple messages from people concerning last night's stream, um, saying that they couldn't get on the live stream. There was one guy who was kind of sending me messages on Facebook Messenger saying that he couldn't access the stream unless he signed out of his account, and then he could go back on and watch. But as long as he was signed in, he couldn't for some reason or another. And I got a couple other people sending me messages saying that there were issues and they weren't able to, click on the link or whatever for whatever reason. People just couldn't get on the stream last night. And I also noticed that, towards the beginning of the stream last night, there was a lot of trolls. Um, there's definitely a campaign in the works to censor flat Earth and people in the community, and I mean it's not really that hard to see that. So let me see. Let me see now. Let me see. Yeah, somebody let me see. Hold up. Like no. Oh, Vic, really? Okay, it says, please wake up out of this nonsense. The freaking earth is not flat. And how do you know that, Vic? How do you know that? How do you know what you think you know? Is the question. Have you ever experienced the earth as a spinning ball? Have you ever gone outside and actually seen curvature? Have you stood on the beach next to an ocean and looked from left to right and actually seen the surface of the water slightly curve? Have you been in a plane? Have you seen curvature from 35, 40,000 feet? No, curvature is not visible at that height. Even at 135,000 feet or so, curvature isn't visible. And that's even substantiated by one of the scientism priests, Neil deGrasse Tyson, in a short clip that he was doing a discussion at South by Southwest a few years ago, wherein he says verbatim that stuff is flat. You can't see curvature, uh, and regardless of how high you get, regardless of whatever elevation you get to, you're not going to be able to see curvature. You've never seen curvature, and you're never going to be high enough to see the curvature. You've never experienced spin on the earth. So if the earth isn't flat, then you have to ask yourself, I mean, what experience do you have to substantiate that claim? What are your senses telling you when you go outside? When you step outside on a nice calm day and you see the clouds in the sky, and the clouds seem to be moving very, very slowly. I mean, we could get into the rotation of the earth, 1,000 miles per hour, but then we have to factor in these other things, these other motions that are supposed to be taking place, the 67,000 miles orbiting around the sun. We got to think about the sun dragging all the planets through space at 415,000 miles per hour or something like that. We have to think about the whole solar system, the whole Milky Way galaxy flying through this infinite vacuum of space some way or another at like 500,000 miles per hour. And yet we feel no motion. We detect no motion at all. We've been seeing the same stars for all of recorded history. That's how the Great Pyramids were built, to align to the constellations. You've been seeing the same constellations since you were a kid. We have a North Star that's situated right. It's been in the same spot. And I know the so-called smart people will tell you that there were other North Stars at one point. It wasn't always Polaris. At one point, it was Draconis or whatever. It was some other star. No, it wasn't always Polaris. Polaris is just, the current North Star. There was another North Star like 20,000 years ago. And then 13,000 years from now, there's going to be a different North Star. So while you're alive, while everybody you know from the past has been alive, anybody that you ask, we all experience Polaris as the North Star. But you're told that something else was different. And of course, this is where people would say, well, math. Yeah, I know. Okay, anyway. Can you see Polaris?
My bad, D. What's up? Can you hear me?
Check your connectivity.
What's good? Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, I'm on. What's going on?
Yeah, sorry I'm late.
Oh, no. It's all good. I'm saying I was just chatting with the folks in the chat, answering questions going in about these things. And of course, there's one guy screaming that the earth is not flat. You got to wake up. You got to wake up from this. We've been brainwashed, man.
Well, you gotta answer like I answer those folks. If you say so.
Right.
If you say that the earth is not flat, I mean, okay. Now what? Can you give us a little bit of objective evidence to substantiate your claim, or you just want us to believe it's not flat because you say so? I mean, this dude ain't been listening. This dude ain't been paying attention to our arguments.
Not at all. Not at all. Let me see. So I got a question here. This is an interesting one. Sure, why not? All right, let's go. So this guy, Ramin Rahim, Rahim. Hope I'm getting that right. Always respect as a flat earther dealing with racism in the flat earth community. How do we address racism in the flat earth community? Because he saw a comment referring to Eric Dubay as the white savior. Yeah.
Well,
Um.
yeah, go ahead. You go first.
I got nothing. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, you got a lot. You've been discriminated against. You've been called out your name. You've been through a lot of stuff, not only online but also in person, right?
There's been a thing or two. Yeah, there's been a thing or two.
Yeah. At the conference, you was about to my ass, you know.
Yeah. There was that. There was definitely that. Let me see. I'm saying I tend to deal with these things on a case by case basis. You know, I don't really do the whole racism thing for the most part. It's just you know, I deal with people whenever they give me a reason to go there and look at them, you know, sideways. Like old boy Red Pill, you know, when he was popping off a couple weeks ago, and this dude says, you know, go back to Wakanda with that stuff. So
I actually think that's funny. I would love
you
to go
know,
to.
saying it's like when that type of stuff comes around, I just, you know, conclude. I'm like, I'm not even gonna deal with it. I'm like, you're dead to me.
Yeah, yeah.
like once you go there, you're cut off. I'm like, I don't have your back. I'm not messing with you. Anybody stupid enough to say something like you.
Well, I kind of look at it this way: if they gotta go the race way, that means I am whooping that ass intellectually. If you gotta call me a nigga, if you gotta call me anything other than a human being, that means you have nothing else you can possibly say to tear me down. So if you gotta go the color route, you're showing how weak you are intellectually. So I kind of look at it as when they go there, it's because they've lost, you know, because it's usually in a debate, it's usually they're saying the earth is a globe and we're saying it's flat, and then we lay out our foundation of why it's flat, and they really don't know how to respond to that. So they think by calling us a derogatory name or trying to discredit us because of our color, that gives them an upper hand, when really, if they know their history, it kind of elevates us. You know, that's the way I see it. So if you got to go there, that means you've lost. You know, you have nothing else you can say. You
Right.
know, the only thing you can do to attempt to tear down the vegan warrior is call him a nigger.
Right.
So, but
Like,
before I
is that?
won.
Yeah. I'm like, is that really you're gonna go there? Well, look. Okay.
Yeah,
So let me tell you, between us.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what happened? What happened with that? There was a dude in the chat who said, what did he say? He said that black people are the most violent people, and there are statistics to prove that.
Okay.
I didn't agree with
Yeah,
that.
if you look at boxing, yeah.
Right. Boxing, perhaps, but
Maybe football. Football, we're kind of, you know, we make up the defense of pretty much all the NFL teams. We're pretty violent. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I mean, right. I mean, along those lines. But here's the thing that had old dude triggered. Now, it was my response to the guy who said it. My response to him was, um, find me a picture of a group of smirking black men standing around a tree with a dead body hanging from it.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
if I mean, because if black people were so violent, then I would imagine that there would be plenty of those pictures around. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah. Well, they should be lucky that we're not really that violent. Because if we were, it would be a whole lot worse than it is today. I mean,
Uh,
think about it. In every hood that I've grew up in predominantly black communities. Um, all throughout my teens and, you know, since I was young, I really didn't start living around white people until after I graduated from college. Any white person or any other ethnicity could live amongst black people. You
Yeah.
know, they could live amongst us, and we had no problems with them. And there was no, actually, a lot of them were defended. You know, if somebody messed with them because they were white or something like that, their black friends would always come to their side, to their aid. I mean, I know some, like my best friend, he went to all white schools and he was on his own, you know. I mean, don't get me wrong, he had some white friends that came to his aid as well. But historically, white people have no problems living amongst us. We usually have the problems living amongst them, you know, when we're the minority. And the discrimination comes in and all that different stuff. So you're right. Historically, we're not as violent as they are.
Yeah.
You know.
And the whole comment about the smirking black man around a tree with a dead body hanging from that he took that as me race baiting. I'm like, wait, hold up, that wasn't race baiting. That was a response to this knucklehead in the chat who said something stupid. I'm
And
like,
it
I'm personally not violent, and then
actually,
old
actually
dude.
happened.
Yeah, yeah, and then dude ran off and like just went on for like an hour talking noise to me. Didn't say anything to the dude in the chat. Didn't say anything about anybody else saying dumb stuff. But he had to go off talking to me saying I was race baiting, that I was being divisive, that I had been brainwashed by the leftist media and all that. I'm like,
Well,
no,
I don't
no.
trust I don't trust the media either, but the facts are the facts. I mean, they started Jim Crow. There was disenfranchisement. There was racism. I mean, it all happened. See, a lot of these folks want to act like it never happened. They just don't want to talk about it. You know, oh my God, it happened, and we're a different world now, and we don't want to talk about it anymore. But it's still happening. So,
Right, and that's yeah. So that I mean that's kind of, I don't know where that whole thing came from, man. And I'm like, my thing is, dude, look, I'm not one of these internet folks that just stay behind the screen. All right,
right,
I'm
right,
I'm at these events. I do travel. I do get around.
right,
Chances are you're gonna bump into me face to face one of these days.
right.
When that happens, I'm pulling your card. I'm pulling your card.
Yeah,
I'm pulling your card. You're either gonna say go back to Wakanda to my face, or you're gonna apologize. We're gonna know
yeah,
where you're at. Period.
absolutely.
All right. So anyway, man, let's get
But
on. Let's get on. Uh,
well, I mean, we can stay on this just a little bit more. I
yeah.
mean, I know it makes people uncomfortable, especially if you're Caucasian. You're kind of like, man, just move on. You know, that's how it was back then. That's the problem. All you good white folks today, you got to understand that the type of racism that's out there now isn't overt. No one has the balls to do anything face to face for two reasons. One, they get their ass whooped. Two, it's a legal issue. You know what I mean? You can get sued. You can, discriminating against someone or calling someone out their name. There's a price to pay now. So what's happening to a lot of black folks? They are being discriminated against, or their race is being used as a weapon against them discreetly, and we recognize it. We recognize it, and it's kind of like we deal with it. I deal with it on the business level. There's certain accounts when I go to deal with business, I let my white partner deal with because I know it'll go smoother than me showing my face. Those are the kind of things that black people today in 2019 are dealing with because there are people who really believe that race matters. But then there's a lot of people that don't believe that race matters, that happen to be Caucasian or black. So the realities of this is in flat Earth, there's a lot of racist ass people in flat Earth. It really is. And I'm not saying that there's anything we should do about it. I think it's just the fact that it's a reflection of our society. You have a lot of people who act one way, but will say one thing, but act a different way. That's just how it is. I've come across it, you know. And a lot of these trolls are racist too. Like every time I corner P Mars and he ain't got nowhere to go and he feels like I'm destroying him, he calls me a nigger and hang up. Every single time. And he does it so much that I think it's funny because I know he's gonna do it. Because he can't say anything else to me, you know. But what people got to understand, especially black people, we have taken that power away from you. You can no longer make us feel inferior. It doesn't work anymore, you know. And because it doesn't work, you can say what you want. You just better hope, like D just said, you don't run into me one day. Because the day you run into me, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem the moment I see you. It's that simple. P Mars, if I ever run into you, it's gonna be a problem. Man, what you're saying, the day I run into you, instantly you have a problem. Is that simple? You know? We will be moving some furniture. No, I'll probably be moving furniture. You're gonna be running for your life. That's probably what's gonna happen. That's just how it is.
Oh, nah, man. You ain't never gonna see P Mars.
Yeah. Let me catch him. Let me catch him. First, while I'm holding him down, I gotta go live. Because everyone has to whoop his ass. You know what I mean? I'm
Man,
like, I have my knee in his chest. He's gonna be screaming for mercy, and I'm like, just hang on. I'm gonna put the cell phone on live. Then I'm gonna commence to whooping his ass on Facebook, and it's gonna go viral. You know, that's exactly what's gonna happen to P Mars if I ever run into him.
right.
You know,
P Mars gonna get smacked, flat smack for real.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, I don't know. I'm saying
Well,
that,
all our white friends, we love you. It's just that there's aspects to race you guys don't understand. I mean, I know you want it to go away, you want it to be forgotten, but there's many of you who don't want to forget. So they try to remind black people that they're still different when really we're not. We're all human beings. So they try to use it as their power against us, and it's not working. At least not on me, it's not working.
nah, not at all. But I mean, it's just it's odd. It's odd. I mean, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. It's a lot of um a lot of dialogue that still needs to be had, a lot of discussions that need to be worked out. And I mean, it's nothing that's going to happen overnight, obviously, but you know uh I ain't violent. So I, so I took personal, I took that kind of personal. I'm like, wait a minute. And here's the thing. It gets on my nerves because people treat me from time to time. They'll get, I'll get a little side eye. People, lock the door when I walk by. Ladies will clench their purse. Dude, I was at work yesterday. I'm sitting here coming out of the break room, watching something. I just like had a bowl of something or another, cereal or something. I come around. There's this one girl. She was like, ah. Well, I come around the corner. I was like, what? She's like, oh, I'm scared of everybody. I'm like, no, you're not. I've seen you around here talking to people. You always act like you're scared around me. I'm just like, man, stop it. Stop it. I'm like, yo, we work at the same spot. I'm not about to beat you up and take your purse at work. Get real. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man. I'm scared of everybody. No, you're not. No, you're not. And I'm saying it's just a matter of the public perception of a black guy with braids or locks. I mean, it's just like, it's been brainwashed into people that that's the scariest image, of anybody walking earth. And I'm like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
It's I mean, and you know what? I know that, and I figured that out a while ago because it kind of worked on me. It kind of worked on me. I used to see brothers with braids or something. I'd be like, "Oh, dude, I'm probably shot somebody." You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've caught myself doing it. I've caught
Oh yeah,
myself stereotyping black men with hair.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I know other people are being brainwashed with the same stuff. So and that's how I navigate through life. That's how I deal with people. I'm like, okay, based on my experience and how I see things, I'll say, well, other people probably see things the exact same way. Other people probably feel the exact same way that I feel. So when I catch myself, as a result of the movies, boys in the hood, Men's to Society, things
yeah,
like that. The guy on TV, the crime show. The black guys always got to be, baggy pants, pants sagging, thug, gangster, drug dealer, some stuff like that. And I'm like, that's not it's just so prolific in the media, and that's like the public perception. I'm like, it's not real.
yeah,
And there's some aspects of um programming that are acknowledged in the so-called truth community, and then it's other stuff that it's like the introspection won't take hold in these other areas. Like
right,
we've been programmed to believe that we live on a ball too all our lives. We were able to break that programming.
right,
But there's other things that we've been brainwashed into believing that aren't true, you know?
right, right. Yeah, I mean, what I can add to that is we black people are indoctrinated too about race. I mean, it because for a long time, this still may hold true to me now. If I'm walking down the street and I got a bunch of white kids walking towards me, I just have no fear. I don't know why. I mean, I don't have no fear with too much of anything, but I'm not really thinking that they're going to try anything, right? There could be a bunch of young kids, rowdy, whatever. I'm just going to walk past and say, "Yo, what's up," and just keep going. The brothers, I'm, I'm a little more alert. And
Right?
I think it's because I grew up around the brothers and I know how it can go. You know what I mean? All it takes is the slightest thing and it could pop off. You know what I mean? So what I've learned when I deal with brothers, especially like when I do security or if I'm doing um, personal protection for a celebrity or something like that,
Yeah.
I show mad respect to the brothers because one big thing about black men, they have zero tolerance for disrespect, right? So if you're doing something disrespectful, it's going to set them off, you know? So I go out my way when I deal with black men to be respectful if I don't want any problems, right? The
Right.
moment there's a perception of disrespect, it can go south. That's what I've
Yeah.
learned when I deal with them. I mean, but when I deal with other types of people, it doesn't seem to be a trigger as quick, but it's a quick trigger. So when I train like police officers and stuff like that, I tell them, man, the culture, the black culture in general, you can't be disrespectful if you want to de-escalate a situation. If you're disrespectful, you're gonna escalate it somehow. And it's a cultural difference amongst the races where black people just got very little tolerance for disrespect. And I think it has a lot to do with our history, you know, and especially young guys. Young guys, if they feel like you disrespecting them, trunks is popping open, the AK-47 might come out, anything might happen, and that's not all black men, of course,
Right.
but that's some aspects of our culture. And a lot of times I find just by being respectful, things will diffuse, you know. I have a client where we have security officers in the convenience stores, and I train all my guys. I'm like, yo, we are there. We should be greeting people as they come in. We should have a good day when people leave. you're in uniform, you should be respectful at all times. It shouldn't be no giving anybody the grizzly. Not you don't walk up on anybody like you're gonna do something to them. You're a security officer, so you should be very respectful. And most of my accounts are in Black communities, so it's like, yo, you got to be mad respectful, or you're gonna set something off. And that's just a trend that I see in the Black race overall. And I'm talking about not necessarily all Black people, but the dynamics or the the, the types of communities that I may put security officers in. I got to prepare those officers on how to talk to the public, because if they talk to the public the wrong way, they will escalate a situation. And we've had situations prior to me taking over this account where security officers were beat up. 5 and 6 guys roll up on them and beat them down right in the convenience store, you know,
Dang.
simply because he was disrespectful. You know, he may have yelled at a kid or told a woman she needed to get out of the store and talk to her disrespectful or whatever the case is. And then the fellas come and deal with the security officer, you know.
Right.
Those are the type things that occur if you're in the public sector and you don't know how to deal with the community.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I'm saying there's always something going on. You know, there's always you know, situations where you kind of got to approach things, from a different perspective, with more tact, maybe a
Right.
softer tone even. So
Exactly. Exactly. Maintain your
yeah,
distance. Don't enter nobody's personal space. You know, see, in real life, there's a lot of things you got to do to ensure that you're not being offensive. See, online gives these people the illusion that they have the right to be offensive to people. Like you said, the moment they come off of this online false security and go out into the real world, all that goes out the window. You know, you can
yeah,
be dealt with
yeah,
in the real world. So
yeah,
there won't be nobody there to save you.
yeah, yeah.
You just be screaming, screaming, asking for people to help you, and then people walking by stepping over your body. You know what I mean?
Right. Like I feel like you brought this upon yourself. So I'm gonna keep walking, man. Um, but okay, okay. All right, so check it. Dude, you okay? Apparently, Glowbusters channel is down. Like, there's no videos. They're just everything's gone. What you know about that?
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing.
Maybe
That's the
Bob
word
got
on the
fed
street.
up. Maybe Bob got fed up, because everyone's coming at him. I mean, not us anymore. I mean, our beef is over with, but the Greater Sapiens and Wolfies and Res Rhetoric and all those guys, they're coming at him hard,
Oh,
extremely.
no doubt.
Yeah.
Dang. I don't know. Maybe what Rambo says it's all private now. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to go check out the channel and see what it is. But man,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
I don't know. It's odd. It's odd.
Yeah, I
That's
hope
it.
he probably just said the hell with it. He wanted to take a break. And he's going to probably come back strong. That's how Bob normally does. You know, he takes a break and he'll probably be back. But everywhere you turn on the internet, someone's coming at his grill. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
I mean, it's 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 rough. It's rough. I can tell you that. You know, shoot, it's still. I mean, to this day, people still coming at me about old videos.
right?
But it is what it is. You gotta deal with what you gotta deal with. We all have our crosses to bear individually when these situations come up. So I don't know, man. I hope they're all well over there. Hope nothing too crazy happened.
Yeah, yeah. He's probably just taking a break from the BS
And that's
because they're,
necessary.
yeah, absolutely. You got to get your sanity back. You know, I mean, I've even considered it. I mean, I'm being so censored right now that I'm like, yo, once they take this one down, I'm gonna take a few weeks off, and then I'm gonna come back stronger. So
Right.
I'm positioning myself the same way.
I can dig it. Shoot, I don't know. I guess I kind of been taking a break lately myself. Hadn't really done any videos where I had to sit down for like hours and put anything together. And that's been for a while. I'm just like just kind of laying back for a minute and
Right.
get back to it. But
Yeah, YouTube wants some other stuff too. I mean, I think they're starting to target us specific. Well, they've already been targeting us, but I think they're ramping it up.
oh, of course, oh, of course. Let me see. The it's like I'm saying like I was getting messages from people yesterday saying that they couldn't access the live stream, that they were blocked out. There was this one guy saying that he was trying to get in and he was signed in his account and he couldn't get on the stream, or he got kicked off or something. And
Right.
when he logged back on the YouTube, or he didn't log in he logged out of his account and then came back and then he was able to watch the stream. Like, so there's something going on, man. There's
Right.
definitely something going on. So
Well, I witnessed something that I've never seen before, which is blowing my mind.
what's that?
Usually they make up some type of excuse that you're a bully or that you violated community guidelines or whatever to censor your video. What they're doing now, and this is what I've done. I know my channel is being kind of censored and being pulled down. So what I started to do, because they won't let me upload any videos and they won't let me go live, I started premiering my old videos. So I
Mm,
went back to older videos and I would change the title and then premiere it as a new video, right?
nice.
What they're doing is they will let it premiere, and then once it premieres, they will blacken out the video. And they don't send you, you know how they send you an email when they say you violate a policy or whatever? They don't do that
Hmm.
anymore. They just block the recording of the video that you premiere.
All
But
right.
my argument to YouTube was these are videos that were already on my channel. I just changed the title name and premiered them. And they were like, I mean, they're not responding.
Ah,
So if you go to all the new videos that I've been premiering, there you can't watch any of them because they're all blacked out. That's their new strategy.
that's yeah. They're getting creative, but I mean they're getting creative and they're getting more blatant. And I mean they announced it the other day that they were. I mean not the other day, a couple months ago, that they were going to start censoring flat Earth and like other so-called conspiracy videos. So yeah,
Right.
man. I mean, but why? Why though? I mean, because this is ridiculous, right? I mean, this has been debunked time and time again. Obviously the Earth is a globe. They got pictures from space, right? So I
Mhm.
mean, what's the issue with people saying that the Earth is flat and talking about that? Like, what's the deal? I
Yeah,
don't know.
I think they're running a little scared. They're also, if you say anything about the Masons, they'll put a disclaimer under your videos explaining what the Masons are. So if you talk
Ah,
bad about the Masons, the Freemasons, you know how they have the disclaimer for NASA? If you talk anything about NASA, they do
mhm.
the same thing for the Masons. So not only are they protecting NASA, they're protecting the Masonic order. YouTube has shown his hand. If you say
Yeah.
anything about the Illuminati, they'll put a disclaimer under your video about the Illuminati.
Oh, look like we got Kyrie Irving in the chat. Okay,
Uh,
but that's what's up. Yeah, man. Like you said, yeah, they showed their hand, and that's kind of what's going on. It's like they're uh, the desperation at this point is like exposing who they really are and what the real agenda is. It's like it's ridiculous how just blatant it is now, and it's just going to cause people to turn around and say, why what's up with the censorship? Why are y'all reducing recommendations for flat earth videos? Why are these channels being taken down? It's just people saying that the earth is flat. Like it's drag queens out here reading the kids in freaking, you know, freaking 8-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got grown men and drag reading the kids, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? But you know, but people saying that the Earth is flat. No, we need to,
Well,
we need to curb
Caitlyn
that.
Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner is a part of their status quo. They want that. They want transhumanism. They want transgender. They want a blending of the races. The whole metrosexual attitude. That's what they want.
Hmm.
You know, so they're not going to censor the stuff that they want. I mean, I seen a video. I didn't see it. I couldn't watch it, but I seen an advertisement for a video of a little boy who's a transgender, and he has a popular YouTube channel. I think he's like 12 years old or something.
See,
And he's in drag, and he's doing a whole lot of stuff in his videos. I'm like, how can that be acceptable? You know, it's almost like pedophilia. You know, if you're into that, you're a pedophile. You'll watch that kid all day long. You know,
yeah,
telling you, man, our world is flipped upside down.
yeah, most definitely. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. And I think what is it? Is it that one kid that was all on TV and all that? He's got a YouTube channel now. Maybe is that the same kid? Okay,
I mean,
it was
yeah,
yeah, because it was I didn't even bother remembering the kid's name. Whatever it was. I mean, he was like dancing in a club, and there was like old men throwing money at this little boy
yeah.
while he's dressed up, in drag. And I mean, I had just thought about that. Like, yo, what if that was a little girl? What if that was an 11-year-old girl dancing, and all these old men are throwing dollars at that little girl? Is that okay?
They
But
probably,
it's
they probably, they probably like that too.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
but it's okay. It's okay to do that, on and have that type of stuff on YouTube. But don't say the Earth is flat. We need to
yeah.
censor that. We need to, yeah, yeah, man. That's
Well,
craziness.
and for the young folks that just tuning in the last few years, all this censorship stuff started when Google bought YouTube.
Hmm.
When Google took over YouTube, the freedom. See, when YouTube first started, it was just like this platform for you to put out your videos. It was very little censorship other than, sexual content. They didn't want any pornography or anything like that. But you pretty much could say what you want and be who you wanted to be. And it was a free speech platform. When Google bought it, it started changing over time. And now it's like the Gestapo.
Right. Hmm. Sick stuff that's going on. Just checking the chat, seeing what's going on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Um, yeah. Somebody's like, yeah, Ghostbusters videos are all gone. Yeah. Okay. That's not cool. But yeah, like you said, maybe they'll be back. Maybe everything's just private. It's no telling.
Yeah.
No telling.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
You take a break, you just go private and you just lay back. And when you feel like you've had enough rest, he'll come back, probably.
All right. Well, in the meantime, we'll just continue doing what we do out here.
Or,
Uh,
or, or I got to lay out my conspiracy theory. His,
sure.
his, his, his mission is over. He got new orders.
Right.
I'm
Oh
just
man.
joking. I'm just joking.
So that's right. All right, Agent B. We're all good now. Here's your new assignment. Hand him a new file. I'm like, what? Good lord. All
It's like
right.
you messed up on this one, so you got to go into the new mission.
Right,
I think
right.
that's what happens. I think that's what happens to Tim Osmond, because he was missing for like a couple years and he just popped back up out of nowhere. I think he got reassigned or something.
Right. I'm saying. Oh, here I got shout out to Casey Walker. Appreciate you. Said, hey D, missed the last video. Moved from Massachusetts to Pennsylvania. Good lord. Lake Erie seems to be very close to me. Also seems pretty large. Tempted to do some experiments. Please do. Do some
Oh yeah,
observations over that water. Get some get some of those, get some light sources, get with some friends over there, make sure, yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk.
Oh
Just make
yeah.
sure you got everything in line
Yeah,
for
she's in
these
PA.
observations.
She's in my state.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. But yeah, the curvature testing, that's always a good thing. Most
Mm.
definitely. Um, so here, did you hear about that new Apollo 11 movie?
Oh Lord, they making another one?
Yeah, yeah, man.
Mm.
Here, let me see. Yeah, let's do a little flat Earth. Let's do a little flat Earth real quick.
Sure, sure.
All right, and then I'd put something together for this whole thing, this blue marble situation. Let me see. All right, so this is a article from Vox. Apollo 11 is a truly stunning new way to see the moon landing. Uh, then they got this one right here, these famous shots and all that. Just gonna read over there, and that's Buzz Aldrin as photographed by Neil Armstrong
No,
next
it's
to
not.
the.
Stop lying.
Hey, I'm just reading what this says, man. I'm just going by what the propaganda says.
But Buzz ain't shaped like that.
Yeah, I'm saying it. Look, shoulders all forward. And, come on, man. But all right. So 50 years ago, this July, the first men landed on the moon. The culmination of the Apollo 11 mission's iconic uh, is an overused word, but the images recorded during that mission deserve it. The blast off moment, the American flag planted on the lunar surface, Neil Armstrong reflected in Buzz Aldrin's helmet. Yes, of course. Um, Man, I kind of wish I
Liar.
had a picture of this. Yeah, right. Man, look. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna have to pull up a picture of this lunar lander. And man, okay. So where are we at? Those images have been revisited countless times in the 5 decades of pop culture since. Just last year, the masterful film First Man told the story of the moon landing as a part of a character study of Neil Armstrong. By the way, if I remember correctly, that movie First Man was a box office flop. If I remember
Yeah,
properly.
yes, it was.
Yeah, like nobody's checking for that.
See,
Like
they
we
got a
already saw
serious problem. They got a serious problem outside of flat Earth.
it.
Um, I, I think the numbers got to be like maybe 70, 30, 60, 40. That smaller number, people don't believe that the moon missions were real. There's a lot of globe earthers that don't believe that the moon missions ever occurred. So this is their propaganda to get their numbers back up.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know how a movie's gonna make them believe anymore, because I mean, you go in, you're already like, dude, this is a movie. What are you talking about? We're supposed to,
Well, you gotta think about the newer generation coming in. See, I don't think they do things for us, adults over 30, 40 years old. They're doing these things so when that that kindergartner or that fifth grader who's learning about this stuff in school, now they can have a movie to refer to support their textbooks. I think
right.
they're working on the early generations.
I guess so. I don't know what's going on. Who? Okay, so hold up. Let me address one thing. Somebody's saying that somebody named Michael Jordan is being censored. I'm like, I'm not. I haven't censored. Dude, I'm not censoring anybody out here. What are you talking about? That's not really Michael Jordan anyway. Anyway, um, like I would not censor the goat in my chat. Okay, I don't care what LeBron did earlier this week. Um, but yeah, man. Let me
Oh,
see.
I just got finished talking to that guy, Michael Jordan. I didn't get talking to him, but communicating with him through one of my videos. I just put up a video on dog training, and he responded.
Right.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know. Dude might have. I don't know. Somebody might have been here popping off, and he might have got. I don't know. He might have got blocked. I'm good for that. But ask somebody. Pop on my channel talking and saying some dumb stuff. You might get blocked on accident. It's been a few people who will come back to me like, "Hey man, uh, did you block me?" I'm like, Maybe. What's your name? What'd you say? Oh, I was making a joke. Oh, you need to be careful about that stuff. My bad. Um, but yeah, man, this is I'm saying Apollo 11. That was when they were supposedly, out there taking on. Here, let me see. Apollo 11 focuses not just on the awe-inspiring moonscapes, but on the intricate, intimate moments of the shuttle's mission. Like when they had that little piece of cardboard in the window above the Earth, faking that picture, and then
Hmm.
presenting that blue marble shot. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and let me get into this little short thing I put together right before this thing. So, um,
Okay.
all right, hold up. There's old Buzz. Let me read a little bit of this while Buzz is on the screen. Okay, they agreed. I'm not sure what they agreed. Uh, but the already huge undertaking was made, especially massive by the discovery of 65 millimeter reels that had been sitting in a vault for decades. The large format film, which captures extraordinary rich images and was being used at the time for Hollywood productions like Redacted, was shot by NASA employees as well as the crew of documentary to be called Redacted. Like there's supposed to be something here, but they totally blanked that out. Which was released in 1972. Funny thing happened on the way to the moon. That might be what happened. But anyway, let me get on to this thing. Let me pull that down. Now let's talk about this blue marble for a minute. All right, so um, the blue marble image. This is, I mean, this image we've seen this thing in all the text.
Oh wow. They kicked you off. They don't want you to talk about the blue marble, D. How they gonna kick D off in the middle of talking about the blue marble? Y'all know how important the blue marble is. That's a damn shame. How long they gonna kick D off? They hoping D forgets his train of thought. YouTube ain't shit. YouTube, I don't like you. You or your minions. What is the possibility that YouTube and Google is the NSA and the CIA? What do you guys think? Oh, D just fell again. Tried to come back and kicked him off again. They're kicking him off his own platform. D, you back?
Yeah, man. God
Okay.
dang it. Every freaking time, man. Every time.
Mm-hmm.
Every time
As
I try to do a
soon
quick
as you talk,
presentation,
as soon as you talk about the blue marble, he's like, "Oh hell!" No. He said, "Oh
right.
hell!" No.
I'm saying, like, what was the last thing that we saw, man? What was the last thing? Because I was about to go do
You
this.
pulled up the blue marble slideshow.
God dang! Every
As soon
time,
as you
man.
did it, as soon as you did it, they kicked you off.
All right, let me try this again, real quick, real quick. Okay, present to everyone. Let me go back. Ah, okay. All right. So about this blue. Okay, did we make it to this part? Are we still here?
Yeah, you still here.
Okay, cool. So what I was saying was the blue marble image. This image. I mean, we've all seen this in all the textbooks. Every time we see this thing, and I mean that's since we were kids, everybody's seen this particular picture that was taken apparently by the Apollo 17 crew at a distance of 29,000 kilometers or 18,000 miles from the surface. So they say. Um, this photograph was said to be taken on December 7th, 1972. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Oh, like I need to check with you every now and then to see if I got sniped out. This is some fun stuff I did here. Okay. So the picture was taken December 7th, 1972 at 5:39 a.m. Eastern time and then 10:39 UTC, which is, the same time. So they use that universal time there. So what I did, I just took the blue marble PNG. Anybody can Google this and then take that picture and move it along. And manipulate it in Photoshop or Paint or whatever. I do this in Cut Pro because I don't have Photoshop. But anyway, so what I did, I took this and also went on to timeanddate.com. So at the bottom, you see the time is, I used the date December 7th, 1972 at 10:38 a.m. UTC. So the way that the sun and the moon are positioned there, it's showing that it's like Africa's right there in the middle, and then it's showing a whole bunch of other places on the globe that are illuminated by the sun's light. So what I did, I took that blue marble PNG and put it right there.
Okay.
All right. So here, let's talk about this. Do you see anything that might be wrong with this whole picture, sir?
Yeah. Yeah. It. So if I understand this correctly, the marble is showing Africa where in the middle of the ball or at the top?
What I did, I had lined up the blue marble PNG photo to Africa on the map right there.
Okay.
So it's what I was doing is just basically lined it up, just laid the ball over Africa, right where it's at, and just to see how that matches up. And what this says to me is that one, there's a lot of space on the back of the ball that's supposed to be illuminated. That doesn't make sense. And then that leads me to another question: is there really enough room on the other side of the globe to fit the rest of the land masses?
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Where's North and South America?
Hello, on the back of the ball. They're on the back of the ball, man. Like that's a lot of land. That's a lot of land to fit on the back of the ball. If Africa is all we see right there, that means that all the other continents, basically, except the little bit of Antarctica down there, all that's supposed to be illuminated, and all that's supposed to be covered on the backside of that little ball.
Now that little slit at the very top, is that the Red Sea?
I believe so. I could be wrong. Like, wait a minute. There's
the Nile River. Oh my goodness, they kicked him off again. They kicked him off again. They want y'all to forget what he's talking about. Don't forget. Keep it in your mind. Keep it in your mind. They figure if they keep interrupting, you guys forget the point he is trying to make.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay.
We're trying to get you to forget what you were saying and to forget in the audience to forget what you're trying to show them.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm saying that's how they play it. But yeah, man, I just did that real quick. Just lining that up. I'm like, that makes sense. Or it doesn't make sense. All those land masses, I don't believe, should fit on the back of that little ball, according to that picture that they gave us. So,
yeah,
just wanted to put that out there.
That little slit I was trying to point out was, if I can go back, I'm gonna go back in the live stream. At the very that little slit, isn't that supposed to be the Nile River or
the
Red Sea?
Let me see. There was another map. Let me pull this one up and see if I can look into that.
Big from space.
Yeah, I mean it's huge from space. You mean that area between Africa and then right above that's like Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, the Middle East. Right?
Yeah.
Ain't that like the Middle East?
Yeah.
So why is that slit so big? That's one big slit, man. Is the river that big? Is that the Red Sea or the Nile River, I guess?
Let me see there. I'm checking the chat. Yeah, saying yes, that's the Red Sea. Or
So,
what? The Suez Canal, is it? Good Lord.
yeah,
Is it?
why does it look so big?
Man, I'm saying perspective.
Why?
You
You
know.
said perspective.
Yeah, it's about the angle that you look at the globe, because you're out here from space, you know. you're you're out in space, so you gotta, you're gonna see it looking a little thicker sometimes and then a little thinner at other times. It's just based on the angle that you fly away from the globe. I mean, everybody knows that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's the arrogance with which these globe believers will talk about this stuff. I'm like,
Well, you know what a globe earther told me? I'm trying to remember who said this. It might have been Tim Osman. The reason they know that the Earth is a globe is because of satellites. They're
oh,
claiming they're claiming that the satellites can calculate the shape of the Earth mathematically. Have you heard that one before?
um, that sounds to me like that thing that Rob Simmons was saying, where it's like they take these pictures of the Earth and then they splice them all together. It's like that type of stuff. They
Well, no,
always
I'm talking about calculating distance.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, like they're claiming they can triangulate distance around the globe because there are satellites around the globe.
Hmm.
I never heard that one before, but I heard someone say it, and I'm like, really? Okay, well let's go down that rabbit hole and see how that works.
Right.
Because
Uh,
they definitely don't want to do what you were just doing. They don't want to talk about the moon missions because half of them don't believe the moon missions occurred. So if you ever notice when you're talking to globe earthers, any flat earther, if you are in conversation with a globe earther, always start the conversation off because this is a good measuring stick how well this conversation will go. Ask them, do you believe that the moon missions were real? If they say yes, in the discussion, keep moving. If they say if they say no, the moon missions are fake, continue down that path. Because if they say yes that the moon missions were real, yeah, they believe that they seen the shape of the earth. They look back and they saw a ball, right?
mhm.
Standing on the moon, looking back at the earth, you should see a ball, right?
Right.
If they say no, we never went to the moon and it was fake, I think we have the leverage to possibly make them into or get them to see the argument of flat earth. But if they believe that the moon missions were real, nothing you say will convince them. Nothing,
Right. Right.
because that's their physical evidence.
Hey, they
But
know it's
if they
real, man.
don't believe-
They
yeah,
they
I'm sorry.
they heard they heard it on the radio.
Right. Hmm. Exactly. The majority of them heard it on the radio. Majority of them
Yeah.
didn't even see it on TV.
Right.
Yep.
I'm saying, or wasn't or weren't born when it took place. But just because it's been taught so long. But yeah, I agree. I agree. That is a good gauge. That is a good measuring stick, because I believe, yeah, just like you said, man, it makes sense. It makes total sense that you know, they're steps away from kind of cracking the door open and taking a look into flat Earth with
Right.
objectivity.
Right. That's the only
You
reason
know,
I came over because I believe that the Earth was a globe, but I definitely knew that the moon missions were fake. I knew
right?
that. I mean, we were on that for years before I ever came over to flat Earth. But when I finally broke through, I said, well, damn, if they didn't go to the mission, which I know they didn't do the moon missions, they can't possibly know the shape of the Earth.
Hmm.
You know, and that's what opened the door for flat Earth for me.
Yep. And I
I
mean,
mean,
just like that dude Owen Benjamin. That's kind of where
mhm,
he's at. He's struggling. I
Mhm.
mean, he's having a hard time coming over going full flat, but he knows he knows that the moon missions were fake. I mean,
Right.
he destroys the concept of the whole moon missions and all that. He's got a lot of questions
Mhm.
about the globe, but he just won't turn the corner. Come around and be like, all right, it's flat. You know, he'll
Well,
come
he's a
around.
celebrity. He's a celebrity, and he can get away with all the stuff that he's saying now. The
Mhm.
moment he starts saying he's a flat earther, he won't be able to get away with it anymore.
At all.
Yeah,
So,
because
I mean,
and you know what? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh no, I'm saying it's safe. It's safer at this point to, you know, hold the status of a globe skeptic. It's safer to be right
Right.
there because if you
Right.
come out and say you're a flat earther and they want to put you in a box and say, okay, so you're part of the flat Earth Society. Oh, so you believe this? So what about this? Well, what about the ice wall? What about the dome? What about the edge? Well, what about? And it's like the same stuff. It's like, but if you just say, hey man, look. I'm just saying I got some questions about the globe. I still think it's a globe, but I have some questions. That's all. There's just some things that don't make sense. I'm not a flat earther. I'm a globe skeptic. It makes sense to me, honestly.
Mm. Yeah, it's a safer way to approach without him completely going off the rails because he's known for going against the grain, and he can play where he is now. But the moment he says, you know what, the Earth is flat, you guys are stupid, blah blah blah, he'll lose probably half of what he has.
Oh man, yeah, that's that's safe to say. Huh. If not more, but it's all good. But
Well, just tying this in with what we were talking about earlier,
mhm.
I did a video and I jokingly told all white flat earthers to go hug a black person. And I said, whenever you get a chance, go hug a black person. And someone actually got in the chat and said, what the hell do you mean by that? I said, you now know how it feels to be ridiculed. You now know how it feels to be treated as subhuman. You now know how it feels um, to not be considered anything and all your ideas about the world to be suppressed. That's how our ancestors felt for hundreds of years. No matter what they said, no matter how much truth they brought forward, they told us we were crazy or we weren't rational or we weren't this. So welcome. Now, if you're a flat earther, you got a black card.
Right,
So
honorary.
whenever you get a chance, go hug a black person. Because this is
I'm saying.
exactly how many black people felt for a very long time. They felt like they couldn't speak the truth because no one wanted to hear the truth, you know? And a lot of them didn't for years. My grandparents used to always tell me that everyone knew X, Y, and Z, but no one would speak on it because it was a consequence for sharing that truth. And that's kind of like what we're going through today, you know? So it's not about race, it's about how people are treated that are in a minority. We are, flat Earth is a minority. And by being in a minority, this is the ridicule that all minorities get, no matter what the topic, simply because the majority has so much influence and so much power, they have the right to speak down to you. They have the right to disenfranchise you, to suppress you, to censor you, to treat you like you don't matter. And that's what many of you are experiencing for the first time. But a lot of us come from a history of that. So that's why we can deal with it a lot easier. I just wanted to say that.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. I hadn't even considered that. But yeah, you're right. You're right.
Mhm.
Um, and I guess yeah, that does make a whole lot of sense, man. That's the treatment that we get, as being flat earthers and as being a so-called minority. But that's just what it is. It's like you're no longer the baseline of society. You're no longer
Right.
just the part of the norm, the most accepted aspect of society. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And because we're not like the majority, they need to bring in psychologists to see why we're so different. And like in Behind the Curve, they were bringing in psychologists, and they want to get into the psyche of the flat earther as if we're defective. You know, that's how they do. That's how they do anything that is against the status quo. You know.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm just hoping that we kind of all come to this conclusion and figure out that we're kind of all on the same side, regardless.
Right.
And regardless of what 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 your skin tone is, what amount of melanin you possess, we're all being screwed by the same people, regardless.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, let's get over that. Let's get over it. And I'm
Yeah.
saying, I'm like, part of the whole operation is keeping us divided, on the ground level. I mean, ground level, like, we wouldn't be considered the elite in society. So, keeping the people, the regular folks arguing amongst themselves based on, these issues of race and all that's been created is like, that's another one of their tools,
Right.
and a lot of people fall victim to it. I'm like, it's it's actually kind of stupid. It's actually kind of stupid when you think about it.
There's a good question in the chat. Peanuts Clark. He says, Vegan Warrior, could you explain the difference between the Flat Earth community and the Flat Earth movement?
Hmm.
Um, I would say the difference, and I don't know if D is going to agree with me, but you know, and D will probably give you the best answer because he dabbles across different perspectives in the flat Earth. You know what I mean? He gets along with everybody. Everybody loves D Marble, other than Globe Earthers. They hate him. But the flat Earth community tends to be like-minded people that kind of see the same thing in flat Earth. I would say the flat Earth community would be people that agree on the model. I would say that. I don't know if D will agree with that, but I would say that. If you the conference folks are probably a community. I would call them a community. They're like-minded. They have some differences, but they have more things that they agree with than anything. The movement is everyone else. People that may not accept the globe Earth model, but they definitely accept the basis or the idea of what flat Earth is all about, where we're on a plane that is not moving and not spinning, and that's pretty much what makes us flat Earthers. The movement just wants to um, bring that topic to light. The community, the way I see it, wants to organize, come together, and speak in one voice. And I don't think those in the movement are ready to do that yet. And that's why they wouldn't be considered a community, but those who are in some type of movement to become a community. So a movement would be more of a starting ground to gain consensus, and a community would be you kind of establish a consensus. I think a lot of the religious folks that see their Bible as a primary means for their ideas of flat Earth, I would probably say those folks are in the community. I don't know. What you think, D Marble?
Um, yeah,
Well,
that sounds. Am I muted?
no, I can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, I'm thinking it's pretty much along the same lines. Um, just that I'll look at the aspect of movement as, yeah, like you said, we gotta get out, we gotta evangelize, we gotta just make people aware of this thing. Um, and yeah, I mean the difference there. as far as the community goes is, yeah, there's people who, want to gather together and, do the social event. So I'll kind of be on like both sides of it. And, I just try to get along as best I can, because I look at it like we all have this thing in common that we know that we're not on a globe. So I feel like that should be enough to kind of unify us on a certain level, at least to the point to where we can be civil. At least we can show respect for everybody's ideologies, because we're all going to approach this thing from a different aspect. There's going to be people who look at it from more of a metaphysical level. There's going to be people who look at it from a more biblical aspect. But you know, regardless of how people approach this topic, it's like we all know that we're not living on a globe. We all know that there's been a group of people who have conspired to keep us in the dark as far as where we are. So the idea is to, in my mind, the idea is to make enough people aware of that, so then our voice will be loud enough that we can challenge the 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 powers that shouldn't be, um, on what we've been told. And I look at the whole flat Earth thing as, okay, wake up to this, and if you don't know anything else, you all you know is that the Earth is flat. And then once you actually sit down and grasp that and you mull it over and you ponder it, it's very simple. You figure out pretty quickly that you can no longer trust the authority figures that have been placed in front of you. So at that point, you have to take everything else into question. History, um, the different people that we've been told to look up to, the different stories that we've been told as far as how things have progressed to where they are now. Like everything's in question once you figure out that the people that we're supposed to trust lie to us about where we are. The whole world's a stage. Yeah, it is. And they lied to you about the stage that we're all in this play on. So, I mean, yeah, it just, yeah, I agree. I feel you on that one.
Yeah.
It's just,
I mean,
uh,
and I don't speak for everybody. That's just what I think it is,
yeah,
you know. But I mean, the perfect world, we would all become a community and we will all speak with one powerful voice. I mean, that would be the ideal scenario, but that takes work and we got to progress into that. There's a lot of people in flat earth that have come together and have worked that out. And I call them the community. There's people like myself, I'm probably more of a movement than of a community because I haven't worked that out yet. You know, I haven't gotten to a point where I feel that others can speak on my behalf. And, you know, it's something I got to work out individually with myself before I could say that, that's where I see myself being in.
right. Um, I just try to stay flexible, honestly,
Yeah,
because like just getting bogged down into one ideology that gives people something to attack, you know. But I'm saying I'm kind of like you in that aspect. Like, yo, I like to stick to things that can be proven. Like, what can we talk about that we know for sure, and what can we prove without too much expensive equipment, without a whole bunch of expeditions and all that. What can us as regular, everyday people working a 9 to 5, not having a whole vast amount of money and time to play, what can we figure out amongst ourselves for now? And once we get enough of that stuff, then we can use that to wake up other people to say, well, hey, look, man, I was out on the Puget Sound a few months ago. My dude had a laser of 10 miles away, and I could see the source of that light, and it was supposed to be behind 66 feet of curvature. I'm just saying. I could just say that real quick, and if they're actually thinking, they'll be like, Really? 66 feet? I'm like, yeah, just about. Yeah, we can pull it up. The Google curve calculator right there. So he was where? He was over at Owen Beach. I was in Des Moines. Look, even for and for good measure, I was doing a live stream. There was like 150 people on that live stream, and they could see the blue dot too. We all saw it at the same time. So that kind of says that there's no curvature. And you know that lasers and levels, liquid lasers levels, that shows a straight line every time. So I don't know. Doesn't seem to be any curvature, you know, and just some simple stuff, man. Just simple stuff. I like to keep it simple because
Right.
it makes for easier learning.
Well, that's part of the problem. A lot of these folks, they think because something's so simple, it can't be trusted. They want complex answers. They want um, something that's mathematical to be used as evidence versus the physical experiment, and that blows my mind. You know, you mathematics is supposed to reflect reality, but it can also not reflect reality. So I
Hmm.
don't even understand why they put so much emphasis on math when you have the thing itself that you could test. So I don't get it. I really don't.
Yeah, yeah, that throws me off. And I mean, I get these comments from people, and I can just tell, get the energy from the text that I'm reading from them that their eyes are all bugged out of their face. There's a big vein in the side of their head, like you hadn't provided any math. Your math was off. I'm like, the math almost doesn't matter. It's just that there's a light source over there that I'm not supposed to see because it's supposed to be hidden behind a mound of water, according to your ball.
Right.
How much math do I need? I'm saying. And I mean, I put the math in the video, and people still scream refraction or whatever, or you did this wrong. I'm like, dude, I took the numbers from Google. Google got it wrong. I just punched the numbers in. Observer height, distance, that's missing curvature. What you want me to do? I'm using their stuff. I didn't make this crap up.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. I mean, they take. I think what we've been conditioned to believe, we're conditioned to believe in the symbol more so than the thing itself. You know, if you have a number, that number is more important than what occurs in reality. And I don't get it. But you know what? If you know the history of that, that's kind of Pythagoras. You know,
mhm,
Pythagoras it says that numbers are real. You know, there's people. If you talk to a mathematician
yep.
and you talk to some of these people with these ideas, they'll tell you that numbers are real, that they are not just symbols of reality, that they're actually real. And a lot of people that deals with cosmology and sacred geometry and all that different stuff, they literally believe numbers are real. And how do you argue against that? That's what people believe. It's a religion. It's the religion of Pythagoras. That's what he taught. And the Masonic Order has accepted it. They've embedded it in our school systems. And now there's people that think if they know the numbers, they know the thing itself, when really numbers may not necessarily be a true reflection of the thing itself. So I've been arguing against this stuff, man, way before I became a flat earther. I've been arguing against the Masonic Order, the whole ideas of Pythagoras and his cult of numbers. But there's people that embrace it. Whenever you hear someone say sacred geometry as we know it in the Western world is of the cult of Pythagoras. They think they're talking about ancient Kemet. They think they're talking about other civilizations, but as we know it in the Western educational system, you are learning the cult of Pythagoras, and they don't understand that. And you know, I've actually had discussions with different people that talk sacred geometry. I always ask them, do you know where this stuff comes from? They said the ancients. I said, well, how far back? What ancients are you talking about? You're talking about the Greeks. You're talking about Pythagoras. That's what you're talking about. Because beyond that, you really got to tap into some knowledge that isn't readily available for you to understand what those people were talking about. But what we know about sacred geometry in the Western educational system is Pythagoras. And Pythagoras is worshipped by the Masonic order. So I think a lot of what they think is real is actually Masonic in nature. And I don't trust the Masons, so I can't accept it. You know, me personally, I think they're the stewards of deception. That's what they do. They do order out of chaos. So I don't trust the Masonic order. But there's people that regurgitate their information every day and they try to pass it off as truth. And I know some of them, if they're listening right now, they're mad at me. But I've been calling this out for a long time, but they keep doing it. You know, you go to certain channels, man, all they're talking about is sacred geometry, and they don't realize they're talking about the Masons. That's what they're talking about.
Yeah,
You know.
I'm, I'm saying, I just stick to what can be proven. It's not. It doesn't leave a whole lot of conversation, but it's simple. It's simple, and nature is simple. Nature is
Right.
not convoluted like that. It's like, what sense does it make for us to be incarnated into this space and not be given the tools to understand where we are? And
Right.
that's our senses. That's what we use to navigate through this world. So,
Right.
a whole lot of stuff beyond that, you're relying on somebody else's information, somebody else's technology to tell you what's real and what's not. And it's like, it just comes down to, do you trust yourself or not?
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
you know
mean, some of these people believe in God, right? But they don't believe that God equipped them to know truth. They think the only way they can know truth is if they can get it from their pastor, or they can get it from their favorite teacher, or they can get it from their favorite YouTuber, or whatever the case is. But I believe, and I'm not even a religious dude, I believe the intelligent designer that created all of us embedded the truth within us. And the reason many of us can't tap into that truth is because it has been covered up, it has been suppressed, it's been masked. And what you got to do is peel away the layers for the truth to be known within yourself. It doesn't require D Marble, it doesn't require the vegan warrior. It's in you already. Why? Because God made you. And if God made you, it's already there. You just got to remove the deception. And once you remove the deception, you'll see the obvious. I mean, that's the way I see it. You don't need us. You really don't. And if you think you do, I think that's part of the problem. See, people think they need sacred geometry to know truth, but they forget that man created sacred geometry. God didn't create sacred geometry. He didn't need that. He embedded it within us. It's within our spirit. See, I believe the soul, the spirit is created by an intelligent designer. So if God is an intelligent designer, every single thing you need is already within you.
hmm
You don't have to go looking for it. There's no Walmart for truth. You got to go to the Walmart of truth and go to the shelf and remove truth off the shelf and then pay for it at the counter so you can have truth. People are selling truth. That tells you right there it's not real. It's not real. You don't sell truth. There's no price tag on truth because God has sprinkled it on all of us. I feel like I'm preaching. Let me shut up.
Oh yeah, and it was show a couple people in the chat like, preach. So like, yeah, on a roll like
You know,
butter.
it's like Ross Miller in the chat. He says that Jesus is everywhere. I agree with him, and I don't agree with him based on probably what he's saying. I agree with him because I've converted the word Jesus into truth. Truth is everywhere. I really believe that. Truth is everywhere. You know, you just got to be able to maneuver through the deception to find it.
Yes, sir. And then yeah,
That's,
Gartrell, shout out to Gartrell McKinney, said, "Preach, vegan, preach it,
yeah. Y'all want to come to
preach
my
it."
church? In my church, you can do whatever you want and say whatever you want. People will be too offended.
But the music will be on point though. Yeah, man. For
Yeah,
sure. All
Jesus
right.
is everywhere. If you think Jesus is truth, guess what? Jesus is everywhere. I mean, separate the biblical character that they told you it was and think about what Jesus truly represented. If he truly represented the words of God, therefore he was pure truth. If he was pure truth, guess what? Jesus is everywhere. You know?
Yep.
Now I can look at that metaphorically and understand exactly what he mean by that statement. But then there's people that look at it literally. No, Jesus was an actual human being that walked around and he was the son of God and blah blah blah. I don't go there with that. I just go by what Jesus represented. He represented the the word of God. And if you want to say the word of God is truth, yeah, I agree with
All right. I feel like we're gonna have to chat about that one another time.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, I got a plane to catch actually.
Okay. Where you going?
Uh, down to Arkansas
Okay.
for the weekend. I'll be back Monday, so I'll
Cool.
be you know, down there chilling, hanging out with the babies and whatnot.
All right. Yeah, give him a big kiss or hug from me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Tell them Uncle Kurt said hello, my man. But yeah, all right. Yeah, man. Solid chat. Um, good times, man. Sure appreciate you hanging out with me. You know,
Yeah.
2 nights in a
Hey,
row. You know,
yeah, absolutely. I put up a new video, man. You need to get a dog, man.
I need to get a dog.
Yeah,
You're probably right. I thought about it actually.
yeah. You need a dog for that van. That's gonna be your security. Anybody walk up on you, dog gonna let you know, yo, daddy, somebody walking up on you. And my latest videos on dog training. So I want you to check out my training style and what I've done. And once you get your dog, we'll link up and I'll show you how to train up your dog.
Yeah, I'm saying. I did think about that, but you know, I also keep this other thing close to me, so.
Well,
and,
you still
and
need
and I and
that.
I and I sleep real light.
Well, you still need that. But get your nice little. You ain't gotta get no big dog. I mean, you get something that that's gonna let you know when people walking up on your van,
Oh
50
yeah,
feet before they even walk up on you.
man. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I probably won't though. I don't know. I got this thing. I'm like I refer to that as pet debt.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Know what I'm saying that'd be a recurring thing. All right, hold on, gotta get off. Go get the dog some food and whatnot. You know, hook this thing up. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go on and do this thing. Get packed up and get off to this airport, dude.
Okay.
But yeah, man. But
All right.
yeah. All right.
Have a good
Thanks for
trip.
hanging out, everybody. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good time. You know, it's gonna hopefully it's warmer down south. But I'll shoot try to get some video out the plane if I can catch me a flight during the daytime. I might put something up. We'll see what's up. Might end up doing a stream from the airport. No telling, no telling. But it's all good. All right. Like to say thank you to everybody for hanging out tonight. For the wrap up, special shout out to Gartrell McKinney and Casey Walker. Sure appreciate you all. Says have a great time in Arkansas. Thank you, Mr. McKinney. But all right, folks, that's a wrap. This is Deep Marble, Vegan Warrior, saying have a great weekend. And as always, be good to each other. Take care of yourself. Stay flat. See you next time. Thank you.
All right. Peace.